This episode of Catch the Craze is brought to you by What's up, George? What's going on in the House of Craze tonight?
In the House of Craze tonight, we have Miss Laurie Calcaterra. She's going to be talking to us about Path of the Pale Rider 2. That's coming up next on Catch the Craze.
Let's get it.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the Craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze podcast. I'm your host with the most here, the Crazy Man, Vera. And I am with
George, the Dreamer Medina. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to another exciting episode of Catch the Craze. We are live. It is Wednesday, September 14th, and we are going to be talking to another indie about her journey and her writing skills, because she's got skills. Path of the Pale Rider is the book that we're going to be talking about today.
Right
Laurie
here.
Calcaterra is in the back. But before we go into it and we tell you a little bit about what we're doing for the rest of the month, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the link so that you are, or the bell, so that you are always notified when we go live.
Right.
Make sure you comment below, like,
Yep.
all that fun stuff. But yeah, man, it is another Wednesday evening. It's September 14th. We're just about a little under a week away from the Duty Extravaganza that's going to be happening next Tuesday for
Bam.
the launch of the Kickstarter for this in my toilet number tres. Número tres. That's coming, and that's happening right off the bat. But yeah, brother. So another day, another dollar. Another day, another dollar. How's the weather in Texas? Are you still getting
nickels for me.
crazy weather or what?
No, it's just been in the 90s. It's been in the 90s. It's gonna be 90s for the next whatever, how many days. It's like I looked at the 10-day forecast, it's in 90s, 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 90s. I was like, all right, whatever.
Chill.
It's Texas. What are you gonna do?
Well, you stay inside anyway. You're wearing sweaters. You're wearing hoodies outside. People think you're crazy over there.
Yo, you gotta protect yourself from the sun. You gotta protect yourself from the whatever those things that are flying all over the place. Yo, there's just crazy stuff in the air. So I'm like, hell
Crazy
no.
stuff.
And then when it rains, it brings out those spiders, those Terminator spiders that are like fast and furious. And these mofos, they'll sit there like they'll play possum. And you get closer, then it's like Speedy Gonzalez. It's like andale, andale. I'm like, what the? And when they run towards you, what? I hit those high notes. I'm like a soprano. I'm like, oh, it's over. It's over. I'm like, are you that man? Are you that man?
Bro, you were built to just live indoors. Like you're not the outdoors type.
No, I always said this. I'll go up against the biggest, baddest dude in the world.
Right.
But insects,
But
you can have them.
If he has an insect, you're like,
You can have them. Because those suckers, man, they can get you. Yo, you go outside. You go outside and you think you're fine. You walk in, you like you got the measles because the mosquitoes just get all over you. It's ridiculous. And next you want to scratch, but you don't want to do it because it's gonna get worse. It's horrible, bro. Horrible.
Boy, stay inside, Sam. Stay
Wolf
inside.
spiders. That's what they are. Wolf spiders. Yeah, that shit. Wolves
That's
in
right.
sheep's
So,
clothing.
hey, listen, we had Laurie, for those watching, we had Laurie here back in April of last year, April 2022, episode 418. That's
Wow.
when she had launched issue number 1 of Path of the Pale Rider, which is an excellent book. And yeah, so and now she's back. She's
Yeah,
back to talk
this
about
one.
number 2
This one
now.
right here.
It's not,
Bam.
yes, it's not live yet, her
No,
campaign.
no.
There's a pre-launch page. There will be a link here in the show notes. I'm sure it's there already. Please make sure you hit that button so that you are notified when
That's
this
what you're looking for.
campaign
That's
goes
what you're
live.
looking for when you hit that link.
Right. Yeah. So when she goes live, you will know it. So just make
Yeah.
sure you hit that green button there, boop, and it saves it into your queue so that when she does go live, whenever she decides to go live, you will get an email saying, "Hey, after the Pale Rider number 2 live now," and then you pledge. So yeah,
Word.
looking forward to talking to her about that. Make sure you
Yeah.
check it out if you haven't done so yet. Check out that episode. It was episode 418. We talk about the story. We talk about her process, how it started. I kind of want to follow up on some of the things we talked about. She's a martial artist. We talked about that. So it was a fun show. So looking forward to exploring that further. But tell us a little bit more about Duty, Sam. Duty's coming September 20th.
That's right.
Next
September 20th, 6
Tuesday.
days away. 6
That's
days
right.
away. It's going to be fun. So I want to say thank you to the 136 of you who have actually signed up, and that's exciting for Duty. And so there's a lot going on, and there's a lot to pack into this. So what's going to happen is if you've sent me your email, you'll get an email with a link to get a behind the scenes look at the Kickstarter. So you get a preview ahead of the launch to see exactly what the tiers look like, what's offered, because there's 2 books. There's issue number 3, I Chihuahua, but then there's a stretch goal for Duty's Monsters on Planet Cthulhu. And that is, you unlock it and you can add that to your basket. So you have an option of getting the center cover, which is Cthulhu on the Throne, or all 3 covers to make one collected spread. And but that'll be hit the goal of $2,500. That'll be unlocked, and you can add it to your basket. So that's that's an add-on. And I'll have the other.
Your connection's coming in a little weird. I don't know what's going on. Yeah.
Again?
You're
How about
glitching.
now?
You're glitching a little bit. Yeah.
How about now?
I mean, you're in and out. I can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah, I've been having. I mean, I was live streaming today, drawing, and everything just shut down.
Oh.
Yeah. And then I had to do half drawing over because it crashed. I didn't even save I was like, biscuit eater.
Damn,
it was just horrible.
Yeah,
hey, what's up, Pops Van Zant?
What's up, Pops? Even your the screen itself is like a little grainy and stuff. It's not HD. It's not HD right now. You're looking very, very 1982 right now.
Wow. I don't see that. Okay, you can see it here. Like a slow.
Maybe you have too many things. Maybe you have too many things open on your computer or something.
I know. What's up with that?
Maybe shut down some stuff, or I don't know.
I only have one thing open.
Yeah, no, it's weird. So I mean, I'm sure people can still hear you, but I know that you were cutting in and out when you were talking, and I could.
All right, stop. All right. We're gonna figure it out. Anyway,
figure it out. Continue. Carry on.
So, yeah, I don't know. I gotta get them to work. They worked on my cable. They screwed up my system. Ooh. But yeah, so this is gonna be. There's 2 stories. I'm waiting for the proofs to come in. There's Comics Wellspring is like going down to the wire. They say 14 days. On the 14th day, they send you an email shipping it. So they're like, I'm like, I think I've ordered like 50 with these guys. I think give it to me in 10. What's the matter with you? This is the proof. It's only one copy. Just need to authorize it. And but that's it. But yeah, so I'm very excited about it. I got a really good incentive coming in. For that is coming tomorrow, which is awesome. So yeah, I'm excited about the campaign. This is new for Duty. You're gonna get to see a lot of new characters: the Hermit Chihuahua, Bobby, the Sun, the joint alien task force that are tracking the foe. Plus, Duty's monsters on Planet Cthulhu. You'll meet Cheeks, Duty's best friend, the 3Ds, DD, Dally, Daisy. You'll meet Go T. There's a whole lot of characters in the universe, so I'm excited about this one. I'm truly so. We'll see what happens. So hopefully, if having an amazing live lunch on Tuesday night, did on Tuesday night, everybody who backed it that night will be put into a raffle to win a real painting by me, t-shirts. So there's going to be some bag that's going to be up for grabs the night of. So if we get fun that night, there's going to be some really cool stuff.
Excellent.
I'm excited about that. So join us Tuesday night on Catch the Craze podcast right here, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where Duty does thing.
Ooh, all right, yeah. So for those watching, make sure, I don't know if Sam was going in and out, but it is next Tuesday. Yeah, next Tuesday, September 20th at 7:30 p.m. We are going to be live. And like Sam said, if the goal is reached within the amount of time that we are live, then he will be raffling off a painting that he's doing and a t-shirt. So make sure that you log on and make sure that you are catching the stream live. And subscribe to the channel. I'm just looking here. All right, yeah, subscribe to the channel and do all that fun stuff. And also, if you haven't done so yet, check out my website at getyourmeds.com. Get your meds, get my comics on there. Russ 5377, The Adventures of Wonder Duck is on my website. Also, I have some t-shirt designs, including this one, my Wonder Duck t-shirt design. And I also have some Russ 5377 designs. But before we lose connection with Sammy, why don't we bring in our guest right after this word from our sponsor, Sam?
So yeah, this next sponsor is Age with Eagle Raven, currently on right now.
Eagle Raven returns to Kickstarter in its first trade paperback, collecting issues 1 through 4 in one full-color volume. Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, is the story of a unicorn princess exiled into the mortal realm after she is betrayed by her elf prince husband-to-be. Dragons overtake her kingdom, and how she trains to become a knight with the help of an unusual trio of blacksmiths. It's a mature audience telling of the classic hero's journey with a soap opera twist. So check out Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, Volume 1 today.
Welcome.
Hi, everybody.
Laurie.
What's up, Laurie? How you doing?
Good. How are you guys? Nice to see you both together.
Yes, not bad. Thank you for coming on the show. Right before you came on, I was telling everybody you were here about a year ago, a little over a year ago, back in April.
Right.
You were doing the first. You launched the first campaign for Path of the Pale Rider, and it did well. You funded it. I got the book in the mail. I read the book. Sam got his. He read the book.
Here,
great story. I can't wait to talk to you about it. To talk to you a little bit more about the story, because I'm very curious about what's going on. But I don't want. Let me ask you, spoilers. Are we spoiling anything for people, or should we not? Should we wait? What would you? I'll let you decide, because I have questions.
We can talk about everything that happens in issue number 1 because it's out. People have read it.
Okay.
We're moving on to number 2. So it's like we're talking like we have our preview pages done for number 2. So I apologize if you haven't read issue number 1. You can actually go read it for free on Webtoons and on Global Comics because we're up there. So you can always read it for free there. But we're going to talk about it because things happen, right?
Yes. Things certainly did happen. Yes, they did. And I was telling everyone, on the episode, we talked a little bit about your background. You originally from Michigan, moved to Texas, right? Moved to Texas, and you did you wrote a couple of things for the web before you moved to Texas. And so I was curious and diving right into your writing, because I really did enjoy the story, Laura. I thought you did a great job writing it. And I felt like I was reading and I was watching a show. Like it was very cinematic in the way you paced it. Yes,
because that's my background, right?
Yes, correct. And I could see it. I saw it on there. I know that you mentioned the book is it's actually written as a script because you were going to do it as a movie. Right, it's a screenplay. Now, my first question for you, as far as that process goes, because it's always very interesting to go from from screenplay to the comic.
Mm-hmm.
It's 28 pages of story, just about.
Yep.
How do you decide where to cut it off for the first issue when you have about 120 pages of written dialogue in a screenplay?
Well,
Word.
we have to try and make it like you said, 28 pages, and we want to be consistent in our issues, right?
Okay.
So we want them to all be around the same length. More or less, stuff will happen. I always have something exciting that happens. There's always usually a fight. There's usually some kind of drama, right, going on, and I always want to leave it on either a twist or a cliffhanger.
Mm.
So when I wrote it, I kind of I went through and that was, I think, the hardest part was trying to
Right.
figure out where the issues would be. But it's
Mhm.
okay, this is a good stopping point because now we transition to a flashback. You know what I mean? Or it's okay, this is a great twist. Let's leave it right there and let everybody wait until the next one. Haha. Or it's ooh, I killed off a big character. Let's let that settle for a bit before we give them another answer. So
Right. Did you
I'm not
have
nice.
to did you have to rewrite anything for the
Oh
comic?
yeah.
You did.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
So you changed some
even
stuff from the screenplay for the comic.
no, I wouldn't say that. Like the content is the same, but
Mhm.
I think I broke it up into the issues, and then I went back and I changed things. Um After after Marco and I started working together and seeing okay, I need more pages in this one, or there's too much in this issue. Like I threw a lot of things at people all at once in issue number 3, and I was like, okay, that's too much. So then it's okay, take some issue 3 and put it in issue number 2. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
To try
Yeah.
and get the pacing to be the same, as opposed to issue 2 was great, but oh my god, issue 3, and then issue 4, so what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's you gotta space it out so that every issue has that hit, has that punch, has that
Yeah.
effect, you know?
No, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. It definitely does. And listen, I can't wait to find out more about Mr. St. Jude and Santa Claus and Dwayne Fink and all of these things that you have thrown at us in the first issue, where we are introduced to St. Jude. He's riding on a
Jude St.
horse.
Clair.
Jude St. Clair.
Jude St. Clair.
He's
You're good.
he's
And his
riding
horse, right?
he's riding on his horse, Diana Prince. Okay.
Diana Prince.
Have a beautiful relationship. They have
Exactly.
a very, very beautiful relationship,
You break my heart.
and I
I'm
hate you for
sorry.
this, Laurie. I hate you for this, but it's okay. I understand.
But I knew
understand.
that was coming. I was like, everybody's gonna be so freaking attached to this horse. And then
But see,
Yeah,
okay,
because because the reason why is you get into their relationship, but they don't. It doesn't happen midway into the immediately, and he's on this journey, and then all of a sudden, he has this horrible loss, and he's now has to. I mean, and
right.
that is the part that was like, whoa, this is just going to get a little more challenging.
I'm going to recap what I think you just said because you're breaking
Oh
up.
man,
I know.
So what I heard was he has this beautiful relationship with his horse, right? He's been on this journey for a long time. So we're 10 years into the apocalypse. And when you're Jude and you're looking for the answer, this horse is everything to him. This is his transportation. This is his companion. This is his confidant. You know what I mean? And they have that kind of rapport. You can see when they're on the cliff road where it's like, okay, are you sure we should do this? Okay, we just have to be quiet. So they've done stuff like this before, but this specific time, he made a different decision. He
Correct.
stopped to get that glass.
Yes.
And that glass was everything, right?
Yeah.
It got his attention, but that one small decision to stop and get that glass is what caused the bear to wake up, because the horse tripped. They were both tired. They were up fighting a pack of wolves overnight, right? So then he makes a stupid decision to get this glass and it shatters, and there's Big James. He's gonna get you. There's no escaping this undead bear. Right?
That's the interesting thing, Laurie, too, is that this bear is undead. Or undead. But he's getting eaten by these by these vultures
crows.
And these crows, and you're thinking, okay, this guy's done, right? So for those who are watching, maybe have no idea what the heck we're talking about.
Okay, yes.
Path of the Pale Rider is a story, obviously, that Laurie wrote, and give them just a quick brief, just kind of synopsis of what this world is, so that they know what the heck we're talking about when we're talking about undead bears. Like what? So
Right.
then,
I know. If they're coming in right now, like, what are you guys talking about? Okay. So in this world, the death process is broken for everything. So people, animals, insects, everything. Nothing can actually die. So what happens is your body dies, but your soul, your energy, whatever you call your spark, it doesn't leave your body when you die. So you get to stick around and experience your own decay phase. Lovely, right? So your brain is decaying, your body is decaying, you're slowly going crazy as this decay happens, right? Because your brain function is depleting. So you might get forgetful, you might get angry. So like in Big James, maybe he's stuck being violent, he's stuck being angry. So he's not acting like a normal bear. But we also don't have like flesh-eating, brain-craving zombies, like hordes of Night of the Living Dead, your typical zombie situation. It's different. It's your mom, it's your neighbor, it's your uncle, aunt, whoever, and they're slowly decaying. And it's like nobody knows what to do with these people. Where do you put them? How do you treat them? Do they keep their rights? Do they lose their rights now that they're undead? And for how long? It's a very volatile place. There's overpopulation, there's famine, unrest, government, military takeover, riots in the streets. It's a hard place to be. So when we start issue number 1, we are 10 years into that apocalypse. So things have basically devolved to the Wild West. So we have Jude St. Clair on horseback. It kind of is reminiscent to that, Walking Dead. You know what I mean? Where the world is just destroyed and there's this lone cowboy on a horse, right? But we soon find out it's a lot different, than what you're expecting. So he wakes up this undead apex predator. So it's like,
yes,
you can't get away from a bear. It can run faster than you. It can climb trees. It can swim. And this one, it's not like if you shoot it, it will stop. It will continue.
It's already under. So, and now you mentioned, you can't die in this world. So
correct.
What happens?
Your body dies.
Your body dies, right? Your body dies, but you are you're cognizant of what's going on, right?
Yeah.
That's what's even more devastating about Diana Prince. You know what I mean? Like, so
yes.
And the optimist in me says, well, she's still alive.
She's still around.
Yeah, right.
In
so,
pieces.
I know. And that's the other thing. Like, okay, so is there a rule within the story where, like, if you're dismembered, now you're done?
Nope.
No,
there is no escape. There is no exit. There is no rest. You could, Jorge, you can be a pile of bones and you're still stuck here. There is no escape. Death is broken. You cannot leave.
Wow.
It's terrifying.
Yes.
Can you imagine to have to go through that and just be, it's like eternity stuck in your bones or your body or ashes or whatever you are. You can be stuck in the belly of a creature that ate you and you're there.
Which makes this world, or makes his mission even more important to the reader. Whatever it is he's looking for, we are hoping he finds it to put an end to some of this crazy stuff. Now, they do have, so for those who read the first book or haven't read the first book, you should go read it. He meets a young boy who has the disc. The disc. And he's like, tap it.
Hit it. Yeah.
Tap that thing. Because once he taps it, it will let him know if he's alive or not. Where did that idea come? Were you like having a nightmare one night? Like, how did that, like, where did that come from? Because that's pretty brilliant. Like, to have that kind of like safe, where did that come from? Where did that idea come from?
It's basing it off of human nature. We are very quick to separate or identify, right? So let's say the way that I see it is more like either a passport or a driver's license, where it's like government issued, you are required to wear this. But what is it that separates the living from the undead? And how do we tell the difference when, let's say that they're applying makeup to themselves or they're covering their face and all you can see is their eyes? You know what I mean? Or it's like, it's not going to be evident at some point who is undead and who is not.
Right.
So that was like the heartbeat. The heartbeat is what separates people from the living and the undead. So the thing that they're going to do is put it right on your chest, right? It's like very easy to see. It's always beating, but if you tap it, it will also have the audio of your heart as well.
Gotcha.
So you can hear and see what, who it is in front of you. But again, we're talking about technology that the government created and just put out, right? So one, it's hackable. Two, it can malfunction at the worst time. So it's like if a police state comes and asks you to tap it and it redlines and it says that you're undead when you're not, it's like, oh my God, like don't, like bad stuff can happen. Or, it's like people are hacking them. The undead are hacking them so that it shows that they have a heartbeat when they really don't.
Right.
So there's levels to that too. It's like, I created this whole undead underground, which we're going to experience through the short films and like the riddles and stuff like that, where they will teach you how to hack a disc.
Oh, nice.
But you're not going to see that from Jude's point of view. Right. So we don't experience that in the comic, but that's why we went ahead and did the other things that go along with the comic, which we can talk about since I brought them up.
Yes. Because, and that was the other thing, like as a creator, as a writer, as a creative person, creativity never stops. And although you have written 120 pages of this, of this screenplay, the world building that goes beyond that 120th page is the magic for me as a creator, right? Because that's where you're things that maybe the people won't see right away, and you can build off of that stuff, which is what you've done. And you mentioned this in the last campaign. You had a scavenger hunt. You had a few things. You had some Easter eggs. You had a bunch of stuff incorporated. You had a riddle at the end, which I still can't figure out. I'm going crazy trying to figure out.
I have put a ton of hints on my social media. So if anybody is still interested, I even put it right in the group. Like, who needs help with the riddle? Because at this point, I want more people in there, right? And like I created it so we can all be in there together.
Correct. So talk a little bit about that magic, that extra stuff that you have.
So like I said, it's like the world building is what I did first when I was writing. So when I had this idea, like what would happen if nothing could die, or we couldn't leave the planet, what would be some of the things that would happen, right? So I'm writing rules, and I'm writing like how I think the human race would react, like making the discs, making a police force that would separate or collect the undead, creating an undead retirement community to ship them all off to, them fighting back with either the undead underground, trying to get to places where they're safe, people hiding undead in their houses to try and protect them. Because again, I mean, I know I brought this up in the last one, but this is for all the people who are catching us for the first time. We have all these ethical questions that I pose in the comic. Like, what happens if you're undead as a parent and you have a living child and they come to collect you?
Right.
What's going to happen to that child? And there's no exceptions. They're going to take you. You know what I mean? Or vice versa. What if you have an undead child who is aware that they're undead and they come to collect them, but you're living and you can't go?
Jeez. Yeah. It's crazy. It's insane.
You know what I mean? So in that situation, I would think that a parent with an undead child would probably go on the run, to try and protect that child, if that was an option. But again, that child is slowly going crazy and could become violent, could become chaotic, could become all of these things. But it's like, it's still your child. You know what I mean? And you're always going to have that parent mentality of trying to protect them. So anyway, that's just off the subject. So anyway, so I built all these things and I was like, Jude doesn't see 90% of this. So how are we going to explore it? So that's what I did. Here, I got your comic here, by the way.
Oh, nice. Yes.
I was like, by the way, we both have a character named Fink. I think that's hilarious.
Radimus Fink and Dwayne Fink.
Yes, I was like, that did not slip past me, sir. And I got these, by the way, people, this way. Some wonderful stuff from.
Yes.
Check this out. So my favorite one is the gorilla one. This one by far is amazing.
Hector Rodriguez is the artist of that. Follow him on social media.
Yeah,
he's
I need to.
Unbelievable.
That's amazing.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
All right, so back to my comic.
Yes. Back to you.
So here's one of our lovely variants from issue number 1. This is Big James, our antagonist bear. So here's one of the riddles that I built on the back cover. So this is actually a riddle called the Red Reveal. And if you got the comic, it has something on. We have a crossword puzzle that I wrote called Seeing Red, and a little sticker right here that's a key. So the key is this little piece of red right here. If you put it over the back cover, you'll actually see the blue writing stand out.
That's awesome.
So there's your answer, Jorge. You got to get the little piece of red. Oh, look, but Jorge, this will only get you to the riddle. So once you find it, you still have to like get a piece of paper out and like write down what the letters say. And it will take you to the place. There's a place it will take you to online. Where you can earn your bragging rights that you solved the riddle. That's what it is. So we have stuff like that where it's like fan interaction, and then we do a short film with every episode that comes out. So in the first one, we did a commercial for the undead retirement community, which was a lot of fun. So it's like this picket fences in like this ideal community where it's like, oh, if you're undead, come live with us. You can live out your decay phases here in a safe place and blah, blah. Then it's interspliced with like riots, shooting, and things on fire. And it's like, that's kind of like what the world wants you to think it is versus what it really is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I love the conspiracy angle that the twist, you know, I love that you throw that in there. It's got that also, you know, embedded into the story.
Speaking of conspiracy theories, that's what we're tackling in the next video, which I'm working on right now. So people, if you want to be a part of our video for Kickstarter number 2 coming up in a couple weeks, you can still be in it because I haven't finalized the video. So it's where I'm pretending to be a reporter and I'm going around interviewing people. What do you think broke the death process? And people can say whatever they want. I've gotten some pretty funny responses, and that's what I'm going for. Like, I want to hear like aliens and government and viruses and anything, fluoride in the water. Someone was like organic yogurt did it. Someone was like religion, like Jesus. Someone else was like, I didn't realize I couldn't die, I'm gonna go rob a bank, and like ran out of the interview. It was hilarious. So we got like a whole mix of people giving different theories behind what they think broke the death process. So that's going to be a lot of fun. On the next campaign, if we get to 100 backers, I'm going to release the blooper reel, which will be great.
That's going to be fun. Yeah, blooper reels are always freaking fun, man. They're always a good time. So Laurie, let's talk a little bit about Santa Claus.
Yes.
Okay. So when we meet our hero, you know, he's asking for directions to get to Santa Claus, and he meets like we mentioned the young boy who tells him how to get to I-93. But then he also meets a woman and her daughter. And then now that you mentioned what you mentioned earlier about the kids, I'm like, oh no, Laurie's gonna kill this little girl.
She's looking every.
No promises.
No promises.
No promises whether she lives or dies.
Okay, cool. So he's looking for Santa Claus. Now she you know, the old lady and then she makes a comment about, aren't you a little old to be believing in that stuff? But he's actually looking for a city named Santa
town.
Claus. Now,
it's a little town called Santa Claus. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Santa Claus and how you came up with this little town. Is it a real town? I mean,
it's a real town in Arizona, and that's where he is. So if you read my story, Jude is really on a path to somewhere. So it's like these are all real places. I-93 takes you to Santa Claus and will take you to ultimately where he ends up. You'll have to figure that one out.
Yeah, no doubt. And I know you mentioned last time that there's meaning behind every name you throw into your
every
book.
name.
This isn't just like, oh, I just did that by mistake. So have you ever been to Santa Claus?
No, I have not. But it's like I have never been to Arizona. But I needed Jude to be there based off of where the story goes. But I just thought it was a perfect little town because I was like looking at the map and I was like, okay, where can he go?
That's awesome.
that will eventually lead him to this place. You know, it's nearby, but not too close. And I was looking at town names, like on Google Maps. I'm like zooming in, looking at, right? And I was like, shut up. There's no way that there is a place called Santa Claus. It's going in the book. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
It's just too perfect.
Now, did you do any research as far as like what it looks like and gave that photo reference to your artist?
No,
No?
one I did not. Other places I did, but I don't want to be too close to reality because I don't want to get sued.
I got you. Yes.
Where they're like, you represented our town in a negative light, therefore we're going to sue your butt. No, it is nothing like I just picked the name and that was it. Like, I'm not going to, I don't know anybody that lives there. We're not referencing anybody that lives there because the stuff that happens in Santa Claus is not nice. And I don't want them to come after me. Santa Claus is great.
Good tease. Good tease.
I don't know if you could just, if I'm still coming broken.
You are, but that's okay. Type it in.
Dang it. Yeah.
It's an uninhabited place in Arizona.
Okay.
It's inhabited.
Yeah.
It says it's inhabited.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. So Laurie, Marco, DeFillo.
Yes, DeFillo.
Incredible artist. His black and white pages look fabulous.
But have you seen the color?
Yeah, well, that's what I was going, like the colors. Are we going to be seeing more color from Marco?
The goal for the next Kickstarter. Okay, so the funding goal, which I kept the same. So we did 45-50 as our goal last time. That's our goal this time. We're not getting greedy or trying to do something crazy. But that goal will get us to a black and white comic. The color stretch goal for 6,500 will get us to the color comic.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
So that's the one we really want, because if people can see Marco's work, you can see the difference. Like you said, the black and white is crisp, it's clean and beautiful. Absolutely. But when you see his color work, oh my gosh, it adds so much more. So we've kind of been showing people what he's capable of. He went back and colored that splash page from 1. Oh, you know what? I can show you guys. I got slides. Let me show you.
Yeah, his work is just out of control. I know you mentioned 13, and I like that you call them episodes, by the way.
Yeah,
I know you mentioned 13 episodes, right? I think last time we were on.
Yeah.
Is he on board for all 13?
As of right now, yes. Unless DC calls him and is like, "Hey, you want $1 million?" And then he'll be like, "Sorry, Laurie, $1 million," and I'll be like, "Take me with you," But as of right now, absolutely. Oh, this is the wrong one. Could we go? Let's see. Yeah. Which one are we in? We need to be in the one with the angel picture in the front.
That's the one that opened.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
So this is issue number 1. Yes. Okay. So look, so he went back and colored this page.
Oh, fantastic.
Wow.
So I mean, like, it's great again in black and white, but now you can really see what's going on. Like in this one, people were like, "What is this? What is this swoosh? What is this?" And it's like
the
you
same
said, it's
color.
Yeah, it's so cinematic where it's like the person running in between the camera and the protagonist. You know what I mean?
Right.
You always see that in a scary movie, like something runs by, but you don't know what. Yeah. That's what this is. Right. So there's the dude running by.
Oh wow! And that makes him draw his gun, which
right. So of course he points his gun in this kid's face until he sees, who he is. He's still pointing his gun at him, even though he sees it's a kid. But as soon as he finds out he's alive, okay, it's less of a threat. You know what I mean?
Correct.
By the way, I have to mention this kid is actually the son of one of my immortality backers. So one of my friends who backed this level, one of the perks was we would draw them into the comic, and he was like, "Instead of me, will you draw my son?" And I was like, "Absolutely." So Marco got his reference, and there he is. So he's immortalized in the comic on like page 3, which is so cool. Hi, Michael.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah,
thank you.
Wow, that looks good, man. That looks good. It's crazy, because like we're saying, I mean, these are beautiful pages, but and the color. What I like about the color is that it complements the artwork. Now, obviously, he's doing it himself, but sometimes color can kill a beautiful page. You know what I mean?
Especially something in black and white.
Correct. And so what he's done with this, it's incredible. Yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that. I like the look on his face when that happens too.
Yeah,
It's
I
very
love
funny.
Marco's expressions
Yeah.
on people's faces. He
Very
just
good.
captures that moment. When he's diving for this glass. So that top panel where he's like so
Yeah.
focused to catch this thing, and when he catches, he's just like, "Oh, thank God,"
Mm-hmm.
And then even when they sneak past the bear in this long panel on the left side, where he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, thank God," and then look at his face, just like panic eyes as this glass falls right in front of him, and he can't do anything about it, and it
Yeah.
crashes. Like that bottom panel where it says crash, and
Yeah.
the
It's in between.
that's going to be fabulous in color. Like I can't wait to see that in color.
Right.
There's just so many moments.
Mm-hmm.
And like Big James in color is just massive and
The
scary.
gash in his throat.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool too, man. I like that.
We're gonna see. We won't see Big James in the second one, but you're gonna see references, and they're gonna talk about him because, of course, he lives on this road right next to Santa Claus, so they all know him by name.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, "Oh, did you go up I-93? Did you see Big James? Did he get you?
Did he get you?
Did he get you?
He got my horse. That's what he got.
Right? Actually, can we go to slide 3? I think this is the one. Did I add the pages? I think I did. The one with the new cover. Yeah. So this is the A cover for issue number 2. So we have Jude, who's stomping on a guy.
That's nice. That's nice.
Like it represents like the hard path he has to take, is what Marco was saying. And then in the background you have Big James roaring, and then you have this other guy that's like spliced into Big James. So that's telling. But I'm not going to spoil it. So it's like, you got to read the comic.
No, this is good. This is good. I like that.
This is our B cover. This is David Rodriguez's work, who did the zombie variant from the first one. Jude behind bars with half a zombie face. Not a good look.
Not a good look.
Oh, sorry. We have some swear words in sign language, because that's what we're introducing in the next comic, because Jude does sign language. But all he does is curse at people, so it's a fun time. This is actually the back cover, so this is riddle number 2.
Okay.
So because we're introducing sign language, you get to translate the hands in American Sign Language, which is the riddle.
Okay.
And if you solve the riddle, it tells you to send your name and your answer to potpr.info@gmail.com, and you will get something in the mail from one of my characters this time.
Okay. I love the interaction and like how interactive you've made this. This is really cool. I appreciate that, because it keeps you I guess involved in the story.
Yeah,
you're not just reading a book,
absolutely.
you're actually involved, and you're like, oh shoot. It reminds me of when I was reading that book that they made, that Tom Hanks did. They made it into a movie and it was terrible.
What?
Angels and Demons was one of them. It was
I know what you mean. It has Tom Hanks in it. I was like, Tom Hanks wrote a terrible book? What are you talking about?
No. It was Dan Brown wrote the book, and then Tom Hanks was in the movie, and it was terrible. But it reminds me of that. Like when I was reading the Da Vinci Code, I wanted to go to the Louvre. I wanted to go find the things that he had inside the book. Like, and this is what this reminds me of. Like, it makes you want to go to these places. Like, if I'm ever in Arizona again, I may go into Santa Claus and just check it out,
Right.
Look for Big James and stuff.
All right, please don't. Don't go look for bears.
Maybe not.
Bad idea. We don't advocate that on this show.
No, this looks great. So launch date planning for
September
around
30th.
Okay.
So we launch right after Sam.
Okay.
So go back Duty, and then come back Path of the Pale Rider a week later.
That's it.
That's what I'm going to be doing, is I'm going to be back in Duty on launch day, and then hopefully he'll come back me on launch day, right Sam? That's what we're going to do.
I got 1. I need to know what happens in 2.
That's right.
Yes, you do. You need to know what happens in 2, because it's nuts. It's like I pride myself on escalating every issue. It's like 1 was crazy. You got to see who Jude was. You got to see him make a bunch of decisions. So you got to see like who he was, what he was made of. You know what I mean? Because he really made all the choices out there in the wilderness, and the results that happened. But now we're going to see him in a town with people. We're going to see what a town looks like in the Wild West at this point. We're going to see how they treat him. We're going to see new characters. We're going to meet Dwayne Fink. Yeah, and the chaos that ensues with Dwayne is just hilarious. I love Dwayne. He's one of those characters that like gets into trouble, he can't help it, and just causes problems. But it's like hilarious when he does it. So he's a good time. He's a good time.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Did you like? I kind of asked you this question before, just about like some of the names, but as far as the story itself, just the concept of this thing, was it? Where did it come from in your mind? Like, were you always like thinking about this, or was it a movie? Was it an article you read somewhere? What was it that sparked this whole world? Because you have a complete world idea, things that are going on, government. What was it? What sparked that idea?
So I'm a big fan of Dune.
Nice.
And if you've read that book, you've seen the world building behind it, right? Because everybody has an agenda, everybody has a political leaning. There's espionage, there's eugenics, there's religion, there's prophecies that were created to manipulate people, on top of like the spice itself, mind-bending substances. I mean, right, it's epic, right? The story behind that. So when I came up with this idea of what would happen if the dead don't die, you know, and we're all stuck here, that was kind of like, okay, let's build the world, let's make it as big as Dune. Everybody had an agenda. Let's think about all the different things, all the different aspects, you know, and build it into the world before I wrote my story. So that's kind of where it came from. And like just the ideas of, you know, what would happen if you wanted to eat meat and the meat was still moving? What would happen? Like, how would people react? You know,
that was one of the questions that I had too. Is like, okay, so if things don't die, you can't and you can't cook food. What the hell do you eat?
Could.
I mean, you could. I mean, do you want to eat? You know, have something.
Chicken nuggies are moving. It's
yeah, exactly. Are people eating live things or undead things? Just, I mean, to survive. Like, what are they feeding on?
Probably they would go vegetarian pretty quick. I mean, you could still have like cheese and milk and stuff because cows are alive. We could still have that, and like eggs, protein. They're not fertilized. They're not alive. You know what I mean? But yeah, like butchering a cow when the cow is trying to buck you, is going to be impossible.
Right.
Hi.
Hey, what's going on, Barney?
Anyway, so it's like meat is probably scarce when it comes to larger animals. So like beef, pork, those are gonna go out the window, right? Maybe we could still eat chicken, but it might gross a lot of people out. I don't know if people would come accustomed to that or not, you know, to have your meat moving and while you eat it. And it's just a disgusting thought to me. So I'd be like, okay, give me vegetables. But again, insects don't die either.
Right.
And I consider them like dumb, right? Insects are dumb. They only do a couple things, which is like eat and reproduce, and they can't reproduce anymore, but they can still eat. So maybe they just don't realize they should stop now that they're undead. So now we have impossible burgers. That's hilarious. Let's do that. We still have burgers. We just have them out of plants and black beans, and that's okay. Because it won't move. But then you could have these like giant swarms of insects just come and eat all of our crops, and we can't, there's no pesticides that will work because they're undead. So now we have a real food crisis. Right.
This world is so big. I can't wait to see like what you do with it and how far you take it.
We're gonna go far. And let me tell you, once we get to 8 is like so epic. 8 is my favorite. 8 is by far my favorite episode. And like the people that, because of course, like as before, when I was on and we talked about it, like I've let a few people read the entire script, and I'm telling you, once people get to 8, they're like, I need the rest. So it's like you read 8 and they're going to want 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 all in a row. So it's like, let's get funded, let's get ahead, and I can start producing, you know, multiple issues. That would be great, so that everybody can like keep up with the story. Because it's like, as soon as you finish one, I promise you're going to want the next one. Yeah, you could eat the bugs, but they'll still move when you eat them.
Oh man! Oh,
you're gonna need a toothpick.
Sam, you're back. You
Yeah,
fixed it.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
put-
you're good now.
Now
I
you're
ran a-
good. You're crispy.
I ran an Ethernet cable across.
Did you really?
So
You're
that's
like,
why
screw this.
I
I'm
was
plugging this
like,
in.
I know. We're going hardwire.
yeah, you can see the wire coming down from over there. I clean it up later.
Can I show you back on that slide 6?
Mhm.
6.
It's the one with the page. It says, "Dear Reader."
Uh-huh.
So one of the things I had feedback from when I did, like, I don't know, 29 interviews. Gross. That's gross, Barney. I did like 29 interviews the last time our Kickstarter went live. And one thing I was hearing repeatedly from people is like, how come, or can we do a choose your own adventure at some point?
Mm.
And I was like, yeah, I guess so. So I wrote one.
Oh, okay.
So I have a 60-page choose your own adventure story where
Wow.
you can see how long you would survive in this world. Good luck. That's one of the exclusive reward levels. I think I maxed out 50 copies. Like, I think I have 24 available as a reward, and I think I have like 25 available as an add-on, and that's it. That's all I'm going to print because those things are expensive.
Yeah. Everything just starts getting expensive. when you
I
start trying to
know.
print
Well,
this
it's
thing
like
out.
compared to, oh, look, I have new pages.
Oh, sneak
I
peek.
don't think the last one is on there. No, it's not.
Yeah.
We just finished the 4th page of our preview. This guy right here is Dwayne Fink.
Oh, is that the guy with the hat?
No. Okay. So Jude comes in. He goes up to the bar. There's a sheriff back there in the corner. He says, "Look
I
alive,
love that.
barkeep. You got a stranger."
Right.
And then the barkeep's like, "Yes, sir, sheriff's." So Jude says, "Excuse me." Bartender comes over. "Did BJ get ya?" And he's like, "What the heck is it? Who's BJ? What's BJ?" He's like, "Big James the Bear, between the rock slides and BJ, we don't get a lot of news coming up by 93. He's like, Stewart went down that way and didn't come back. He's like, you have to have a pretty powerful reason to be here. And he's like, well, I've been looking for everywhere for someone who's very important. He's like, oh, important, pray tell, who are they? And he's like, his name is Dwayne Fink. We have this common Fink character. That's right.
Yes, we do.
And he has substantial information. Have you heard of him? He's like, oh, you're in luck. He's right over there. Like, so Jude turns around, and then here's Dwayne, slams a beer mug on the table. Here's this other guy that was on the cover. That's him. He says, so let me get this straight, Dwayne. The man of gold found the fountain of youth. And he's like, no, Jimmy, gold lives forever because he snared death. And then one of his cronies is just like, well, how old did you say he was? Let me see. Downs his entire, most of his beer. He's at least 102. No, 103. So he's loony. He's spilling his beer on this poor guy in the corner. So on the next page, we elaborate on Dwayne Fink, and he's hilarious. He just keeps spilling his beer on this one guy. He climbs up on the table and he's like shouting crazy things and like falls off the table drunk. It's great. You have to see that page because I just released it today on social media, so you guys can check it out on I think pretty much everything. I posted it everywhere, but I have to get it into this PowerPoint slide so people can see it because it's amazing. Like, Marco's colors are just beautiful.
Oh, I can't wait.
And Dwayne is hilarious. So
oh man, and that's part of like the writing process that I love, is when you find a character that you love and you just continue to just you just go, it just makes them that much easier to write. I think,
right,
Sam, you've done that with not just Duty, but like Herman, for example, that's coming up. Like, there are just some characters that you just enjoy writing, right? Like, you just like to just keep writing them.
Yeah, Herman's going to be controversial, but what I love about what I love about the artist is the camera angles. Yeah, the camera angles, the emotion, the action. You found a winner in this artist.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like, I gotta keep him. We gotta pay him, right? We gotta do the Kickstarter so we can make sure Marco is happy. We gotta keep him happy because we gotta keep him on Path of the Pale Rider so you guys get the story, right?
Keep him happy and busy.
He's
busy
amazing.
and happy.
He's amazing. I know. I was like,
fantastic.
all right, let's keep him working.
And he's perfectly suited for that story.
Mm-hmm.
It's like sometimes you'll see like guys that paired with artists, and the artists really are not capturing the story. They're good artists, but they really it's almost maybe they're not in love with it. You can see it's almost like music. His strokes and what you see on the page it's like a symphony just playing out. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank
Great
you.
job.
I
Great
appreciate
job, Laurie.
that. I
Yeah.
appreciate that, guys. I'll make sure that Marco gets that feedback. I mean, people are just eating up his art. So it's like every time I release something, everybody's like, bah!
Yeah. I'll tell you this, Laurie, and I say this all the time. Great artwork will buy you the first issue, but a great story will keep them coming back for the rest of it.
Yep.
And you have a great story.
Yes.
You know,
Thank you.
you guys just compliment each other so well.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys have cooking for the second issue. And so should you guys, so if you guys are watching and you haven't done so yet, there is a link in the description that will allow you to just get notified when the campaign goes live on September 30th. It looks like that. So hit that little green button and get notified for when she goes live on the 30th. And no, good luck, Laurie. I think you're gonna kill it. I think you're gonna kill it. You got my money. I can't wait. I can't wait. So yeah,
like me and Sam and you. It's like I got all your stuff, you guys. I love it. I love it. I love the support. It was like Sam and I ran into each other.
I heard.
Thank you, Barney.
Yes.
Thank you, Barney.
Yes,
so Sam and I ran into each other at Arlington Comic-Con.
Yes.
Marco had gotten a table and was like, "Hey, you want to come to a con with me?" And I was like, "Sure. When is it?" He's like, "Tomorrow." And I was like, "Oh, let me see what I can do." Right. But it worked out. So we went and walking around. I was like, "Oh, it's Sam!" And I was like, so I was hanging out at his table and we were talking and stuff. And like, I saw this Matrix cover. I'm a huge Matrix fan.
That's cool.
So
That's
my
awesome.
husband went back and bought like 3 or 4. I think he bought 4 variants.
Yes.
Because I had like I had the A and B cover from your Kickstarter, and then he went and got the rest of them. I was like, make sure you get the Matrix one.
Oh, that's great. That's great, man.
But Sam's issue 1 has a bear and has a pack of wolves.
Yes, there you go. Look at that.
And has crosswords in the back. And I was like, we're the same person. And then I'm reading your comic and I'm like, and you have a think. I'm like, wow, guys, we're the same.
Wow. Oh, the coincidences.
Right here.
Oh, so what are you doing? Any other shows, Laurie, this year?
Yeah, you know what? I actually just got handed a show. I am now the hostess of the Tuesday Morning Brew on the Comic Related Madness Network. Yeah, I mean, so much has happened since I talked to you guys last time. I was like such a noob, and like now I know people, and I'm reading their books, and I get to like I have like a comic family out there. It's really cool. But yeah, so I kind of found my place on that network. And Pops is looking to like do other things besides host 7 million shows. So he was like, "Hey, are you interested in taking a show?" It's like, absolutely. Oh, do it. Do the bear duty.
That's awesome.
Have him with a cowboy hat on and a disc, and have him with the bear chasing him.
Oh, you mean like that cowboy hat right there?
Yeah.
Just throw a disc on him.
Is that your Indiana Jones cover?
Oh, that's a good one too.
Because I just wrote I just finished issue number 20, writing the script, and that's my homage to Indiana Jones. I blow everything up, and there's like booby traps and flying rocks and.
Damn, Laurie, 20.
I'm about halfway into the second arc. Okay, so 13 is the first arc.
Okay.
Like when you get to 13, it kind of wraps up the first, story arc that
the first season, should we say?
Right. And I'm not even going to say who's in that because I kill a bunch of people, right? So I'm not even going to say who makes it to 13 because it might be Jude. Or no.
Okay.
But like episode 14 starts again. And I blow up things right from the beginning. It's like one of those like walking into the sunset. We blow everything up again, and it starts over, right? And it's crazier than the first arc. It's nuts.
Okay.
So,
nice.
Yeah, I like blowing things up.
There
we go. Just put a disc on him, and it's Jude right there.
That's it. Done.
I love it.
Oh man, no, but that's cool, Laurie. So I'm excited. So Tuesday mornings at what time?
Tuesday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern. We have a 2-hour show, so it's like from 11 to 1. I'm in Central Time. Too many cowboys.
Well, so
I'm a cowgirl.
Michael has a cowboy.
Oh, do you? Okay, so we're people. We're friends, right?
Named Cliff. Yeah, so everybody's connected. So
we gotta bring back more cowboys. We really do.
Right.
That's
right.
So
you go live at 11 a.m. on Tuesdays.
Yeah, 11 a.m. Eastern to 1 p.m. Every Tuesday, and it's kind of cool. It's like we just hang out and drink coffee and talk about anything, everything. It's like we had like 9 people on the stream, and everybody's a creator in some way, shape, or form, either a writer or an artist, or I mean anything, right? And then we just talk about what we're working on or what's on our mind, and who's kickstartering, who's getting ready, and like we just talk about stuff. Sometimes it gets kind of raunchy. I mean, I have to dial it back sometimes. Like, hey guys, could we change the subject?
It's 11 a.m., guys.
I know. I was like, really? But we just have a good time. So, I mean, anybody's welcome. If you want to talk about your comic, you want to come on my show, absolutely hit me up. I'm new to this, so it's like I'm welcoming anybody who wants to come on. So if you guys want to come on and you want to talk about Duty and you want to talk about Wonder Duck, hey, come on my show. I'm excited to have you. You know, I'll keep all the regulars
in line.
Sedated. I don't know.
Sedated.
Sometimes they get out of control. What?
Are you doing any conventions, any shows, any live, like where people can see you behind the table maybe?
There's something coming I can't announce yet.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
Good enough. I'm looking into partnering with a publisher. It's not set in stone yet. So, but at that point I would be doing cons. Yeah, with them. And I'm sure, you know, locally we're going to do a ton, like Dallas and Arlington and anything else that's local. Absolutely. I think there's one that's called Cowtown.
Yes, that's in October. Yes, I'll be there.
Yeah, so probably be there. I'm with the second issue coming out. I'm probably going to set up someplace in a comic shop and do some signings. I'm going to make sure Marco's there because he's in Texas as well. So that's what's cool is like we found each other on social media, and by chance we were in the same place.
That's great.
Ish. Yeah. You know, it was just meant to be, because now it's like now we can do signings together. Like all of our books that were signed, we sat down at the table together and signed them, and we're yucking about comics, you know.
That's great.
So we can do cons together. You can see us both together at a signing, and it's not too hard. So it's not like one of us has to fly across the country to the other one and blah blah blah.
Right. Nice.
That's good.
He's kind of shy. That's why you usually see me, because I'm not shy. I'm not. I'm like, Sam. It's like, what lady?
How the heck is that?
I was like, oh, it's you. Hi.
Well, Laurie, listen, thank you so much for coming back on the show. And we would love to have you back again. Obviously, you're always welcome to come back. Thank you so much for talking about this story, because I think it's a great story, and I can't wait till September 30th. And
thank you guys. I really appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Yeah, and I love both of your work, so I was enjoying them all recently. So
Thanks so much. We'll talk soon, though, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Laurie. Take care.
Thanks, guys. Bye, everybody.
Peace.
Bye.
And so this episode is brought to you by we have another sponsor, Story Comic.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I can read it now since my mic is working. Story Comic is a podcast that focuses on the people behind the words. The host, Bonnie Smith, interviews comic creators of all types and their works and tells stories about comics-based stories, and all other forms of pro storytelling. We've been streaming our show online since late 2019, and it's been amazing to see how many people around the world have come to appreciate and value of hearing stories from people who are just as passionate about their work as we are. So if you're a comic creator yourself, or you know someone who is, or if you just want to hear about how your favorite comic book is made, come check us out at storycomics.com. Storycomic.com. Yes. So thank you, Barney Smith, for sponsoring Catch the Craze podcast. And thank you for Tech the Gods, Michael San Martino, and Daphne Lage, 3 sponsors who have been sponsoring the show for a month. So we appreciate it. And again, Eagle Raven is currently on Kickstarter. She's down to the last. She's on vacation and running the Kickstarter from vacation. You know, I don't know how she does it, because when I went to, I just got back from Arizona. When I went out there, I shut everything down. I was like, shut it down. I needed a detox and break away. But it's a great show today. Again, I mean, I love this book. If you haven't, go and sign up right now, guys. Go head over to Kickstarter. Links in the chat, links in the summary. Go sign up. Be there when she launches. Check it out. You don't want to miss it. This is it's when 2 worlds meet and they complement each other, you get this. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, excellent book. Good storytelling. The artwork is incredible, and I can't wait to see it in color. So we have to make sure that we get her past her goal and into her stretch goal, so we can get some of these pages in color.
Yeah. That's what I was saying when I was reading it. I was like, man, what would it look like in color? Because the number one, he does great with landscapes. I mean, he does great with any camera angle, whether it's close shots, bird's eye view, worm's eye view, whatever it is, whatever angle he's using. But those landscapes are just beautiful. And I'm like, man, because I just came from Sonoma, and and I was out there at the Grand Canyon, and when you look at those landscapes and you look at the beauty, and when I read this, I was like, oh man, just some color, just add the color,
some color,
and that's the cherry on top.
Yeah, no, for sure. But yeah, man, that was fun, Laurie. Thank you for coming on. And we are back tomorrow morning. The morning brew with the Crazy Crew. So we're back after a week's absence, and we're going to be chatting it up. I'm sure we'll come up with a topic to talk about. I actually kind of have one in mind, but whatever. We'll discuss it tomorrow. And don't forget, right, Sam, sign up for this Nailing in My Toilet.
Don't forget, in 6 days, we launch Dudester. He is back, and it's a double feature, man. You remember those double features? You go to movies and you get two. So this is a double feature. This is Duty. There's Nailing in My Toilet, number 3, I Chihuahua, and there's Duty's Monsters on Planet Cthulhu. And this is after Duty's adventure on Earth. So this is in the future. And basically, Duty, it starts off with Duty in high school, and talking about how bored he is, and he finds out about this mystical creature called Cthulhu that he's never heard of, that's on the outer rim on some planet, and some people from his planet disappeared, and he wants to go off and find them, even though he's not equipped to handle it. Like he's never been equipped to handle anything, but he still does. And his friends try to convince him not to, and that's where the adventure begins. So this is part 1 of 3. So it's a 3-part mini, and it's exciting. So this is the first book that I've done in a decade, from start to finish, everything. So George didn't letter this one. What's her name? I forgot her name. My colorist did not color it. I colored it. So everything was done by me. And I'm excited because my skills have evolved over the years, and I'm excited to showcase this story and Duty. He's grown. He's a high school student, and so it's going to be fun.
There you go, buddy. There you go. So make sure you sign up. We're going to be live next Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. to launch the campaign at 8 p.m. So, you come in 7:30, chill out with us, hang out, have a good time. And then at 8 o'clock, the button gets hit, goes live, and you guys pledge away. Make sure that he gets funded in the first hour of the show or during the show. And what do they get, Sam?
If we get funded during the show, I will be raffling off an acrylic painting that I did, and I will be raffling off one of the newest designed T-shirts of Duty. So it's going to be fun. So this is an opportunity to win some really cool stuff, and it's going to be fire. And look out Monday, 24 hours before we launch, I'm going to send out the link so you can get a preview, a head start, and see what the tiers look like, the rewards, all that stuff, and you can make your decision in advance. And for all you artists out there, or if you have kids who aspire to be artists, you want to be there for this campaign, because I have a special incentive for young aspiring artists. It's a limited edition, so it's going to be fun. So more to come. I'll join us tomorrow morning on the Morning Brew, and I'll talk all about it.
Sounds good to me, my friend.
Yes.
Thank you so much for everyone who came on. As usual, Mr. San Martino, Barney from Story Comic was on here. Pops stopped by, said hello. And for everyone who was kind of hanging out and, checking it out behind the scenes, thank you so much. If you haven't done so yet, remember, subscribe, my friends.
Yeah, man. Subscribe, show some love. When we grow, the indie community grows, right? Let's get some eyes on the talented creators that come on Cast the Craze and trust us with their passion. So we want to expand our reach and get the word out to as many people as possible. Because when we grow, the indie community grows. So with that said, I am Sam the Crazy Man Vera.
George the Dreamer Medina.
And we are out.
It's just it's not. Crazy. Acquiesce.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce. say my name, say my name, right?
This is what you were thinking? Oh,
He described me. He said, I'm the
What? Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. To Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze on Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.
Candy girl.